So what are the chords that we are using? So it's really just 4 chords. We're using the 4 chord, the 5 chord, the 3 chord, and the 6 chord. So in the context of D major, the 4 chord is G, but instead of playing it as a root position triad, I'm playing it as a major 9. So this is the voicing that I'm using. So it gives it a bit more of a warm sound and even richer sound as well. And the way I like to think about this chord, and this applies to any sort of major 7 chord, is you want to find the 3rd degree. So in the context of the G major chord, you've got G, B, D. B is the 3rd degree of G. All you need to do is play a minor triad from that note and play that over a G in the bass, and that gives you your G major 7. Because we have the F sharp at the top, which is a part of the B minor chord, which is the 7th degree of G major. And what I'm doing is I'm adding in the A at the bottom as well, just to give it a little bit more of a warm and slightly richer sound. You might not even be able to hear the difference, but for those that take these things a little bit more seriously, or for those that like to play, more extensions to their chords, you can add the A as well, just like that. Now for the A major chord, which is the 2nd chord that we're using, I'm playing it as a sus4. So all we're doing is omitting the 3rd. So if we have A major, we want to omit the 3rd and play the D instead. That gives us a sus4. And all I'm doing is moving the A from the bottom and playing the A at the top, but I'm still keeping A octaves at the bottom. So we've got A, you can add the 5th as well, that's kind of optional. I sort of fluctuate between the two, so whether I play the 5th or just octaves. So the first 2 chords are G major 7 or G major 9, A sus4. The next 2 chords of this progression are both minor chords actually, so the two of the 3 minor chords in the key of D. So we have F sharp. Again, it's an F sharp minor 7. And the last chord is B minor. And we also play it as a minor 7. I occasionally add in the C sharp as well. So it's a minor 9. Just gives it that sort of, clustered sound in the middle there. So from the beginning, G major 7, the A added, or G major 7 add 9, however you want to look at it. So G, D, G in the bass. And really, we're actually playing B minor 7. It's a B minor 7 over G that gives us that major 9 voicing. Because if we were to play it in its root position as a G major 9, the 9th is at the top. But if we take away the left hand, we're left with a minor 7 chord. So essentially play a minor 7 chord over any major or root of a major chord, and that will give you your major 9. So form a minor 7 on the 3rd degree of the major chord. Let's have a look at that in a few other chords just to sort of conceptualize that. So how do we play a C major 9? So we know C is the root. What we want to do is alter the 3rd degree, or change how we approach the 3rd degree. And what we want to do is play a minor 7 on this note, which is E. So we want to have E minor 7 over C. And that gives us our C major 9. How do we do that in D? We'll finish up with this last way of figuring it out. So one more chord. So let's look at D major 9. How do we figure it out? So what we want to do is find the 3rd degree, which is F sharp, form a minor 7 chord, and then play D in the bass. And then from here you can basically invert it and play it in any voicing that you want. So that's just a bit of a shortcut that I have to figure out some extensions, and in the future I will certainly look at providing some videos to sort of give you sort of those little hacks to find your extended chords in a way that's a little bit easier to comprehend. So back to the 4 chord loop. So the first 2 chords were G major 9, A sus4, F minor 7, and B minor 9. So let's play around with that and come up and essentially just move through the chords and play it as a continuous loop, and then I'll show you how to add a little bit more rhythmic and melodic variety to sort of spice things up a little bit. Okay, here we go. We can just play one chord per measure as well. We don't have to pulse like that, so we can just go. Really, it's just a continuous loop, and you can add your own little intros and melodies on top. For example, I haven't rehearsed anything, just to give you a bit of context. So I'll use a couple of notes to sort of lead us into the first chord, which is the G chord, just to give you an idea of what I mean. So you have the ability to set the scene and essentially play whatever you want. So maybe I'll do something like this. That could have been a little bit better, but again, nothing was rehearsed, but it's just to give you some ideas. So let's make something a little bit more melodic before moving on. I wasn't really happy with that. Let's give it a go. What can we do? I think that works. I think it's important that there are more of us that post raw footage on YouTube just to prove the fact that no one's perfect, and there's certainly non-prodigies like myself. I wasn't really born with any musical gifts, but that doesn't mean we can't be skilled at the instruments. I think there's a misconception that we have to play perfectly to show some eye candy or ear candy to our audience. But no, I'm definitely not that YouTuber, and I'm happy to be criticized, but that's just the way I want to operate. So let's give a bit of a melodic intro. What did I have? Okay, so F sharp, F, A, C sharp, D, B. I gotta remember that. F, A, C sharp, D, B. Okay, let's give it a go. So if you want to play some melodies with some different rhythms, just to sort of add a bit more variety and maybe break away from playing, I guess, very static. What I was playing around with earlier was using triplets over a D major sus2 chord with the right hand. So I'll sort of give a demonstration to explain that. Oftentimes, we could use the same chord, the D major sus2, and play it as semiquavers, which is nothing wrong with that. I think I had another video prior to this one where I did do that, but I think it's good to just mix it up and give you some different ideas that you can use. Again, nothing's rehearsed over here. I'm just going to sort of wing it, but hopefully it gives you an idea of what I mean. So the key notes that I'm using with the right hand is just going to be everything in the D major sus2, so D, E, F, A. So all the notes that pretty much will go well with any chord in the key of D. I might occasionally use the C sharp right next to the D at the bottom, and even an octave away or an octave higher. So let's give it a go. So for example, let's just play the loop, and then I'll show you how to use a triplet feel in the right hand to just add some musical variety to this chord progression. Okay, let's give it a go. So that was just a quick example of what I mean by having that sort of triplet feel. So we're having so the way I would count that is just to internalize that rhythm. Triple, 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 or 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Once you sort of have an understanding of that rhythm, then it's just a matter of playing the notes. Of course, I could make that a little bit more stable and prettier if I just kept it consistent. But look, I was just proving a point. The point I was trying to prove was that you can play any notes within that D major sus2 triad, and somehow it's going to work, even though it didn't really probably didn't make as much sense in what I just did. But because the rhythm is strong, it kind of works. Whereas if I was going to play something a little bit more strict, it might sound a little bit, I guess, stable to begin, but otherwise you can use any of those notes. So let's give it a go. In terms of the left hand, I am slightly just playing root, fifth, and root, or 1 5 1. So just to keep it simple. So let's give it a go. Triple, 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 triple. Oops. So just something a little bit different. So hopefully you have a play around with that and come up with melodies that were probably better than what I have just demonstrated. But like I said, I'm not here to give you arrangements. Rather, I'd like to give you guys ideas in terms of how to improvise over simple chords. There's plenty of YouTube channels out there where you can learn full arrangements, probably things that are more advanced than what I'm showing here. But hopefully this can give you the skills to even transition from the content that I have into the channels that you are aspiring to learn off in the future. So that's all I'm going to cover in today's quick little video. Feel free to give this video a like if you found it helpful. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and definitely leave a comment below whether it's good or bad. I think feedback definitely helps, especially as a new YouTuber myself. So I would really appreciate that. So feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you would like to see as well.